Hello and welcome into Country Hall in Liège, Belgium for this BETFIRST BNXT playoff battle between RSW Liège and HUBO Limburg United. Alongside my partner Victor Mansoure, I'm Craig Feta, and we are so glad you can be with us wherever you're tuned in from around the world. And Victor, Liège dropped the second game of their playoff series against Landstedt, but advanced on aggregate. And if they're going to do the same against Limburg, they're going to have to play like they did in Game 1 against Landstedt here in Country Hall when they won 94-79, because Limburg has had Liège's number this year with two decisive wins in regular season play.
Good evening, Craig, and good evening, RSW basketball fans. Yes, sir, Craig. We are here, playoff time, playoff basketball, and a very important game for the home team. I mean, RSW, they've really been clicking on all cylinder here as of late and trying to make this push in the playoff run for the BNXT competition. Obviously, Limburg, like you said, they're going to have their handful. This is a team that not only has beaten them on the matchups when they placed throughout the regular season, but Limburg went deep into the Belgium Final Four run. So this is a squad that's got plenty for them to worry about.
Talked about these two teams meeting. The last time they played in the Belgian domestic season was on February 9th. Limburg won that game by 105-85. Angel Rodriguez, AJ John, and Jamel Higgins had only played a few games with Liège at that point. And then these same two teams met all the way back on December 26th, with Limburg winning by 12, 90-78. The winner of this series will face the winner of the Mecklenburg-Belfast-Mont-Saint-No series. Those two teams are playing Game 1, tip-off the same time set as this game, and we'll try to keep you updated on that one as well. Some other playoff games going on that we will try to keep you updated on. But a couple of players to look out for, Victor, for Limburg in this game. Miles Kale, averaging 12.2 points, and he shoots 48% from three-point range. Jonas Delialou, averaging 14.9 points and 6.1 rebounds, and Alex Stein at 16.8 points. So Limburg United has the proverbial three-headed monster that Liège is going to have to deal with. And you talked about Liège having to play well here at home. Don't forget, they won their first game against Landstedt at home by 15 and then lost on the road, but they were able to advance by aggregate because they played so well at home. And if they're going to have any chance to advance against Limburg, they are going to need another decisive win here in Country Hall.
Yeah, Craig, having the home and away situation, the two-game aggregate, what you want to do is the first game is so important so you can establish yourself, right? Playing at home, you want to have your best outing, and then, walk out of here with a +5, +7, +10 points perhaps, and bring that into the second game. You mentioned the three-headed monsters for Limburg, and this is a team that Limburg, they can hurt you in many ways. So they got the outside shooting. They can put the ball on the floor. They can get themselves to the free throw line. So if you're Liège, you want to be the team that controls the tempo, right? From the start, you're the team that, we know that Liège has the ability to put so much pressure defensively. They switch man-to-man. They go zone at times. You also have Angel Rodriguez, who's the leading steal man on the league. So he's going to put pressure on those passing lanes and those dribbles. So really, if you can establish yourself defensively, try to lower the volume Limburg, and now all of a sudden things can start going your way.
Liège defeated Landstedt here in Country Hall 94-79 by 15 that first game, and then lost by 8. So they had that +7 after two games, and that's why they are here. Don't forget, the first game that they played against Landstedt, in which they had the big 15-point win, they did it without Angel Rodriguez. He did play in game number 2. He only scored 10 points, but he did have 6 rebounds and 8 assists. So Angel Rodriguez back into the fold, and we expect him to have a large role in this game for Liege. We talked about the three-headed monster for Limburg, but RSW Liege, Victor, has some players of their own that have been playing very, very well as of late. Niels van den Einde, he had another great game against Landstedt. He had 23 points after having 34 points in game one. He also had 7 assists and 2 steals, but perhaps more importantly, he only had 2 turnovers in that game running the point when Angel Rodriguez was not running it. So he's been playing very well. Jamel Hagens has been an absolute beast in these playoffs for Liege. And Nick Dragon, he's been playing very well as well. He only had 8 points, but he did have 10 rebounds in the second game against Landstedt. And then you, of course, have the aforementioned Angel Rodriguez, averaging 17 points per game, 6 assists per game, which is good for second in BNXT play, and 3.7 steals, which is far and away the best in BNXT play. I think if Liege is going to advance, they're going to need a little bit more out of AJ John, the UC Davis product. He only had 5 points and 3 rebounds, and maybe a little more out of Kevin Tumba as well. His point
Craig,
production has steadily declined throughout the course of the season, Victor.
Yeah, no, Craig. It's really about Liege being able to do their homework, right? If they can control and bring to the floor what they have, their best weapons. You mentioned Van den Einde has been playing terrific as of late. He can create his own shot. He can shoot the outside ball. He can get to the lane. He can find the open guys. So the mixture of him and Angel Rodriguez, if both of those guys can play well, now all of a sudden you are with the upper hand on this game, right? You do have a great backcourt to play from, and then you add Jamel Hagens, you add Nick Dragon. Those are guys that can put the ball in the basket. So if they see the ball going early, if they get to the foul line, now all of a sudden, RSW Edge has got something going for them. And we mentioned Tumba being able to protect the rim, get those rebounds. So for me, it's really important that a key aspect for Liege tonight is that they do their homework. They focus on what they have and focusing really on the defensive end as well. Trying to keep Limburg under that 80-point mark is going to be crucial for them to come out with the win.
Limburg has lost 3 in a row. As we look at the starting lineup for Brad Greenberg. Familiar starting 5 that we've seen. Although we've got Jamel Hagens into the starting lineup. And Nick Dragon will be coming off the bench. So Jamel Hagens, on the strength of his play lately, has earned his way into the starting lineup. And let's look at the starters for Limburg. A little switch for Raymond Westfalen, as Cliff Hammonds will come off the bench, and Wout Leemans has earned a starting role. But we talked about just a moment ago how Limburg has lost 3 in a row. They won their playoff opener in the semifinals on the Belgian playoff side against Antwerp, and then lost 3 straight. So they're either going to be very hungry for a win, or they're going to be coming off the heels of some disappointment and perhaps not playing completely up to snuff. As we look at Anthony Cambo, he had 7 points and 2 assists in the second game against Landstedt. Starters coming out onto the floor now. Once again for Liege, AJ John, Angel Rodriguez, Kevin Tumba, Jamel Hagens, and Niels van den Einde. For HUBO Limburg United, Miles Kale. From Seton Hall University, Jonas Delalieu, Yannick Desseron, Wout Lemons and Alex Stein from the University of Southern Indiana. A screaming eagle at the University of Southern Indiana. Once again, the winner of this series faces the winner of the Mecklenburg-Belfast Mons Hainaut series, and we will try to keep you updated on that one as that goes on. Ball is in the air, and we are underway. Rodriguez, right side. And now Van den Einde. Hagens working his way into the lane. A little jump hook, a little too strong. Rebounded by Kale. Inside to Desseron. Goes out of bounds. And it'll stay with Limburg.
And I like the way they start this game, Craig. You know, Liege getting the ball down low to Hagens, getting him early to work. This is a guy who can put up numbers quick. And on the defensive end, we see here a 2-3 zone try to take Limburg off their game.
Stein to his right. Puts up the long shot as the clock was winding down. Rebounded by John. Here comes Angel. Around the screen by Tumba. Outside to John. He launches the three. That rings out, but a nice rebound by Kevin Tumba. He was trying to skip past, thinking Rodriguez was out there, but Angel had already vacated, and that's a turnover. Three from the corner off. Another rebound for A.J. John. John driving and draws the foul.
So Liege starting the game on that 2-3. What has done, Craig, it has pushed Limburg to the perimeter game. Two long outside shots that had led to Liege rebounds, and all of a sudden you're outletting the ball into a fast break, and a good transition player there by Liege drawing the foul.
Higgins from 20, and that is good. Usually Jamel is in close to the bucket, putting down thunderous dunks the last couple weeks. But he gets the nice outside jumper there and a steal by Rodriguez. Angel rips the pass down to Higgins, and there's one of those dunks.
Yeah, Jamel Higgins, when he ran that trailer, all of a sudden he kept running into the strong block. Just got the ball in a situation where he just had to 1-2 and flush it down.
Stein on the drive. Tumba with the block, out of bounds. Kevin Tumba among the league leaders in blocks.
Yeah, and once again, that 2-3 zone allows Tumba to, really be hanging inside the key as we see the pass here from Rodriguez. Beautiful pass and a nice finish from Higgins, but it allows Tumba to be the rim protector, and they're really going to need that tonight.
Shot clock winding down again. And Wout Lemons gets the layup, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, this is what the zones challenge is, though. This is the cons of it. It gives you some driving lanes. So Limburg that time swung the ball well to the left side, put it on the floor, find himself really a pathway to the rim.
Lemons completes the three-point play, and it's 4-3. Van den Einde over to Angel Rodriguez. He drives, puts up the floater over the much bigger defender, Delalieu, but can't get it. Pass stolen away by A.J. John. Van Van den Einde with the drive, tried to get it to Tumba, but the pass had a little bit too much mustard on it that close, and Tumba could not corral it. Here comes Stein on the drive. Baseline jumper is good. Tough shot by Alex Stein, and Limburg has their first lead of the game with 6:50 to play in this first quarter.
Yeah, Stein recognizes he's got the height advantage against Van den Einde. The play before, he tried to post him up, ended up committing the turnover on that baseline pass. This time, with a beautiful dunk there, Craig.
Man, another great pass from Angel Rodriguez, finding Hagens underneath, and he goes up for another flush, and Liege is back on top. Stein back up top to Delalieu, and now inside to Desserant, and he scores.
Yeah, that's this textbook high-low. So you got the position down low, just waited for the man to receive the ball around the free throw area with enough position to bounce past that in, and all he had to do was turn into his left shoulder and finish that off the glass.
Miles Cale commits the foul on Angel Rodriguez.
You know, it's
And
so
that may
important
be a
on this game,
matchup
Craig.
that RSW Liege can exploit with Angel's quickness, perhaps get Cale into some foul trouble as Rodriguez misses the three-pointer. Pass to no one in particular. It was destined for Alex Stein, or intended, I should say, but ended up in the Limburg bench.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught up in the air without an option. He did a good job pushing the ball, but all of a sudden left his foot and then thought he had a man on his left, and then he realized he didn't. He tried to lob it a little bit, try to gain some time. So what you want to do is you want to get off your feet before you're sure that the pass is there.
Oh my goodness, what a tough shot. Finger roll by Angel Rodriguez after the slip ball fake.
Yeah, too big time to do the leg go baseline, Craig, and then just Pizza delivered that ball. Finger ran up and in. You got to have a lot of touch to be able to make that shot.
Pizza deliver, I like that. Now Tumba, he gets fouled.
And Liege really pushing the pace. They're trying to get the ball down low, and I like that. You've seen two dunks from Jamel Hagens already. We had the turnover on Tuba on the Van den Einde pass, but they're trying to get there, right? That's what you want to do. You want to own. You want to touch the paint. We call that, getting your foot wet. All of a sudden, once you touch the paint, now you got options, either for yourself, a man down low, somebody on the outside, even getting fouled. So good job by Liege, really trying to push the tempo and get into the heart of the offense.
Tumba misses both free throws. Ball tipped out of bounds, and that is going to stay with Liege as it looks like it went off the fingertips of Yannick Desserant. Mecklenburg opening up a 14-8 lead over Belfast Mons-Hainaut. Almost halfway through the first quarter in that one. Tumba tried to get the bounce pass. A little too far.
John went for the curl. John was curling that in, and he saw his man was trailing him, and Tumba was expecting him to pop out. So miscommunication there and a costly turnover.
Three-pointer on the way by Delalieu. No good. Van den Einde picks it up. Van den Einde might have a difficult time tonight as he's guarded by the much bigger defender. That three on the way. That's good. There's A.J. John. And
they need that from John.
11-7 lead.
And to your point, Craig, there's a reason why they put a bigger man on Van den Einde. And see, they're trying to explore him on the defensive end as well. They know that he's got plenty of talent, but he's going to have some challenge athletically.
Angel lines up the three, and that is good. Back-to-back trays by RSW Liege. And they are up by 5, biggest lead of the game with just inside 4 minutes to play first quarter.
Yeah, explored that pick and roll. The man went under. He just kind of beat his man into that three-point line, into the spot, and all he had to do was rise up and knock that down.
Angel's shooting eye has been off as of late. Good to see him line that one up and drain it.
And then here we see, strategically Limburg has been passing the ball inside. They're getting plenty of opportunity of reads from that position. When you play old school, when you get the ball down low, good things are going to happen for you because the defense has to collapse. They have to come into a help, and all of a sudden you either you're able to finish yourself or take it back out. This time Limburg drew the foul, but we've seen them over and over again in the beginning of this game against the 2-3 zone is trying to feed the ball down low.
So critical stage of the game now for Liege as they bring in their first wave of subs. Graham Bogerts comes on along with Moussa Noterman and Anthony Cambo. He back down to 3 on Hell into the corner for Cambo. He lines up the tray. That is good!
Great job by Campbell and get himself open and on the corner. And Angel Rodriguez, that Puerto Rican connection between both of them got himself an open 3, and Campbell knocked it down.
Cambo's play really has improved. We've talked about that a number of times this season. He was pretty raw when we saw him last year with Humacao in Puerto Rico. He's developed into a pretty reliable three-point shooter. Cliff Hammonds answers at the other end.
And I like the fact that Limburg, this is something that Liege is going to have to adapt to. They're picking up full court on all baskets, and as the game goes along, throughout the 40 minutes, kind of like a boxing match, right? You're really looking for those final rounds as Rodriguez knocks down a long 3. You're looking for those final rounds, Craig, and try to get your opponent tired.
RSW Liege red hot from beyond the arc as Jamel Hagans commits that foul. Let's talk about Cliff Hammonds for a moment, Victor. This is a guy who, for Limburg, another one of those guys who's been around a while, 37 years old, played 134 games for Clemson, averaged 10.9 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game in the ACC. That's a pretty good player. Played in Turkey, Puerto Rico, Greece, France, Bosnia, the NBA G League, Germany. He was a champion in Belgium, Germany, Bosnia, and twice he was named the best defender in the German league. And here he is at age 37, still getting it done for Limburg.
Getting it done, and getting it done is that full court press and a turnover for Liege on that inbound, Craig. And, just to your point, though, what a terrific career it is for you to be able to go to college, graduate there, or not finish your degree afterwards, and then go overseas and really have basketball as your profession for so many years, travel, have some great teammates, make some really good friendships, and be able to compete at this level, man. This is not for everybody. This is a very select group of guys that are able to sustain their career for that long.
Well, not only did Hammonds go to college, but he definitely graduated. He was a double major in architecture and psychology, and he earned the Skip Prosser Award as the top scholar athlete in the ACC. So when this gentleman decides to hang up the sneakers, he has got a variety of options.
And see, that this is what this is all about, right? We tell young kids all the time, hey, kid, you want to live your dream, you want to play basketball. That's absolutely great. Let's go for that. But at the same time, let's get your education. Let's get your, really your IQ and your ability to organize yourself and put yourself in a position for when you decide not to play anymore. Now all of a sudden you do have options in the working world.
Bogert's on the drive, draws the foul. Well, I don't know
job
about you,
by
partner,
Bogers.
but I'm living my dream here, working international games with the best color man in the business. Doesn't get any better than this. Who needs ESPN, right?
Does not get any better than this, and really, it can only get better if Liege is able to keep this play up. You know, this is a team, Craig, that we saw in the beginning of the season. They have the pieces, right? They have enough firepower. Coach Greenberg was able to, as the season progressed, really put them in a competitive level to be able to compete. You know, we know that Limburg made it to the Final Four of the Belgium League, but they got nothing behind them as Liège is a good ball club to come out with both of the wins in this back-to-back.
Limburg has tied it up at 20 after Liège opened up a 6-point lead. Moussa Noterman driving into the lane draws the foul.
Yeah,
I believe that is going to be on Yannick Dahmen. He did not play last game.
He recognized that there's a lot of pressure in the passing lane, so there was some gaps for him to, so he kind of faked his way to his left, crossed over, and took the ball into his right hand and draw the foul. So plenty of hand checks here. Both teams on the bonus situation, Craig, with 135. And Noterman, is left hand dominant, but shoots the free throw with his right. Let's see if this is something that, as the game goes along, can you play defense? Can you play well defense without fouling?
Into the game for HUBO Limburg is Maxime Deseu, legend here in Belgium, Rookie of the Year in 2005 in the Belgian League. 35 years old now. Noterman just about loses it, gets it to Cambo. He drives, spins, puts up the shot. It won't roll in. Ooh, Noterman's feet go out from under him in the corner.
Yeah, awkward fall there for Noterman, but good hustle. This is a guy that gives his heart out, plays hard as he comes in. We know he's going to give that inside presence. And that last shot, good job by Cambo in finding a shot out of nothing.
Yeah.
As Liège was not sure what they were running that time.
Deseu giving it up to Hammonds. Hammonds driving on Cambo. Now the three-pointer misses. That goes out of bounds. It'll be Liège ball. 58 seconds to play in the first quarter. Mecklenburg on top of Belfast Monzaino, 25-18. 45 seconds to play here with Liège up by 1. Cambo getting it to Rodriguez. Angel with 10 on the shot clock. Zips the pass to Noterman. His left-hand hook won't go. And a jump ball. Nice hustle by Moussa Noterman to get down there and tie it up. It will go to Limburg on the possession arrow, but a nice hustle there by Moussa.
Yeah, nice hustle. It seemed like it was going to be Limburg all the way trying to pick that ball from the ground. He just came out of nowhere, able to get the tie up, and you get yourself the next possession for your team.
About 3 seconds difference between the shot clock and game clock. Here comes Alex Stein. He loses the handle. Noterman comes up with it up ahead to Cambo. Cambo pulls up for three. No good. Rebounded by Dahmen.
And this is where you want to have good reads, You got yourself a 2-on-1 situation, Craig. We know that the three-point ball nowadays is really a high volume play. What you want to do is you want to go old school and get yourself to the rim. Either if the defender doesn't stop you, you get the layup, or if he comes through, then you dump it off to the open man.
Long inbound pass to Tumba, but with just 1/10 of a second left, Liège unable to get the shot off. And after one period, RSW Liège on top, 21-20. We are back live from Country Hall in Liège with second quarter action in just one moment. For Limburg, Miles Kale did not score, nor did Jonas Delalieu. Yannick Desiron had 4. Wout Leemans had 3. Alex Stein had 8. Yannick Dahmen had 2, and Cliff Hemmons had 3. As we look at some of the team numbers on this one, Liège out rebounding Limburg 10-6. In that first quarter, Liège 8 of 16 from the floor for 50%. They were 4 of 7 from three-point range and 1 of 4 from the free throw line. Limburg 6 of 13 for 46%. They were 1 of 5 from beyond the arc for 20% and 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Alongside Victor Mansour, my name's Craig Fada. Glad you can be with us wherever you're tuned in from around this great big world of ours. Good afternoon to those of you in Europe. Good morning to those of you in the United States and North and South America.
And Craig, you know, you got to love the fact that we had 2 different strategies here in the first half. We see Liège still with that 2-3 zone, and that 2-3 zone has pushed Limburg, you know, to shoot only 1 of 5 from the three-point arc. On the other hand, we got Limburg full court pressing on all baskets that they score, and it has taken RSW Liège a little bit off their game in the transition play. So both strategies really putting the cards on the table here in the first quarter.
Rodriguez getting it to Moussa Noterman. Spun toward the glass, missed, but therefore the putback is Bram Bogaerts.
I like that. Run the play, get the ball down low, you're able to get a high-quality shot, and if it doesn't go in, at least you got offensive rebounding position to try to get the bucket on the offensive play.
Stein missed the 3, but the long offensive rebound. Stein, little dipsy-do into the lane, missed again, and the rebound by Maxime Desseu, and he draws the foul.
Yeah, and Stein is a guy you got to keep an eye on. You know, he's got the 8 points already, averaging 16.8, but he can create his own shot. He can get himself to the lane, so you got to know where he is at all time.
Stein over to Hammonds. Hammonds throws the pass into Noterman's chest, and here comes Angel Rodriguez. And he traveled. Oh, no, an offensive foul.
Yes, this is one of them calls that, you know, he's going to say that he extended the left arm, try to create some room, as we're going to see here in the replay, as there was a bump. And I understand the call, but I'm not sure I agree with.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, partner. It almost looked like he lost his footing and extended to get some balance. That's why I thought he traveled.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you know, it's such a difficult play, Craig. You come in at full speed, you know, you got the defender shoulder to shoulder with you, and all of a sudden you try to slow down the pace, you know, 1-2 step a little bit slower so you can create some room, and that left arm's kind of like a natural way of you know, going into those steps, and he just pushed it too much.
Anthony Cambo commits the foul. Hammonds gets it to the cutting Desseu.
Good foul here by Noterman.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, you know, it was a bad defensive play. They allowed the pick and roll, the roller, to get himself open to the lane, so Noterman is going to make him earn it at the free throw line.
Did not mention our officials on this game. Geller, Van der Heijden, and De Vlieger working this one. Now some more substitutes for Limburg. Mecklenburg staying on top of Belfast Monsigno. 29-23, 8:03 to play in the second quarter in that one. Bogaerts gets it inbounds to Van den Einde. He is picked up by Yarne Le Suisse. Bogaerts on the drive. Has his shot blocked by a flat-footed Dessau. And now tied up on the floor. That's going to be Limburg ball.
Let's see if Van den Einde, now having watched the game from the outside a little bit, can get himself going in the second quarter. This is a guy that they really need him to, play with a high volume because he can score and create. So Van den Einde, a critical piece, and knowing that Coach Greenberg has him running the point, getting Angel Rodriguez a break there. We see him on the bench because Van den Einde can really be the X factor here in this game.
Up top to Kale. Around the screen by Dessau. Puts up the floater with the right hand, and that's good.
Yeah, he just recognized that, using that screen, he's able to get to his right hand, and as the big man came through, it's a teardrop. We call that big man killer shot. And talk about Van den Einde, Craig. There he is with his first points on the board.
Liege gets the lead back following the layup by Van den Einde. And an offensive foul. Moving screen by the veteran Maxime Dessau. And he's saying, come on, man. I've been in this league for almost 20 years. You're going to call that on me?
Yeah, call that on me because I'm just standing here, and he's the one that is moving all around and kind of hit my hip and a little bit of a flop perhaps, but Van den Einde got the call.
Van den Einde around the screen by Tumba. Good recovery by the Limburg defense. Van den Einde takes it all the way himself.
Well, we are glad to see that. Liege is really happy to see that this guy can put points in a hurry. Back-to-back buckets for him.
Kale soared in for the rebound. And Liege has numbers here. Missed the dunk, Higgins, but Tumba gets it back. And he's going to go to the rack for one. Should say go to the line for one. I saw Higgins jump up and hang on the rack after Higgins missed the initial dunk. Great work by Tumba to get the offensive rebound and put up the tough shot to lay it in. And now just like that, Liege back on top by 5, 29-24, and Raymond Westphalen wants timeout.
Yeah, Craig, on that rebound, 2 Limburg players went down, so all of a sudden Liege had a 5-on-3 situation. What you want to do is exactly what they did. Make the decision early to attack the rim. Either you're going to score or you're going to be in a position to rebound. And then Tuba was able to get that rebound and finish with the left hand and a potential three-point play.
Tumba, a 47% free throw shooter on the season. Let's see if he can get one here to get that lead back to 6. Tumba 4 rebounds in this game to go along with his 2 points and 1 block shot. And it's good to see Nielsen Van den Einde in this one start to find some seams in that Limburg defense. He's attacked, he's kind of worked his way into the cracks like water.
Yeah,
exactly. And gotten to the rack for a couple of layups.
Exactly, my partner. He plays like water. He's able to find himself a situation where there was a lane open to his right. Then all of a sudden he had it 1-2 step and found the angle to shoot that ball off the glass. It's good to see the ball go through the rim for Van den Einde because if he's on, Liege got a chance to win.
Tumba cannot complete the three-point play. It stays at 5, 29-24. So the Swiss giving it up to Dessau. His 3 misses. Kevin Tumba another rebound. That's number 5 for him. Van den Einde picks up the dribble, gets it to Tumba, now has it back. Still plenty of time to set up the offense. Van den Einde launches the 3, a little too strong. And Tumba got boxed out by Kale. Kale working his way, gets a little too deep, gives it up to Dessau, and he gets the easy lay-in.
So the zone has worked for Limburg. They have slowed down. 26 points given in about a quarter and a half. That's exactly where you want to be. So keep that going. All of a sudden, just start to make some tweaks. There's a few possessions that's, oh, they're going to call this an offensive foul here, Craig. Let's see on who.
I think they were calling Hagen's. Yeah, I guess he kind of took LeSuisse off his spot by several feet, as we see Cliff Hammonds having a seat. Rest his 37-year-old legs for a bit. Stein to his left. Back outside to Seo. Faked the three, drove, and he gets the layup. There's the veteran. He can tie it up with a free throw here.
The Sioux recognized he had the lane as he took that ball left hand. 1-2 step, you see right there, be able to move away from the defender in case he was going to try to draw the charge, and then had enough reach to get to the rim with his left hand.
Seo is 68% free throw shooter on the season. Can't complete the three-point play there. And the lead back to 1. Vandeninde waiting for some help, and here it comes from Higgins. Slick behind the back dribble to split the defenders. But it results in no points for Liège.
That's too bad that didn't go in, because that was a beautiful play. Split the defender with the behind the back, got to the lane, teardropped it in, and then a little bit of a misconfusion on that rebound as I had two guys in the same team go for it and just could not control.
Cambo commits the foul. His second, so he will sit down, and Bram Bogart's into the game for Liège.
Well, we talked about the zone working for them. What's not been working for them is the fouling. They were in the bonus situation in the first quarter. They've also exceeded here with plenty of time for Limburg to explore. So you want to play good, solid defense without fouling.
First free throw is good. The second is not, so we are tied up at 29. Vandeninde outside to Lemaire. To Hagens. Shot clock at 7. Hagens drives baseline, up off the glass and in.
Big man, big boy move, man. The 1-2 dribble to the baseline, go up strong with the defender. Had nothing that he could do except watch that ball go through.
Kale now working on Tumba. Back outside to Kale. He thought about the three. Great defense on that possession by Kevin Tumba, and he cleans up the rebound. Good work from the Belgian national team member there. Hagens again, this time from the right side. His jumper, no. Tumba fighting for the rebound. And then
I believe it's a travels.
Yeah.
Yeah, Craig, and that's what you see. Tumba making his presence felt. A great defensive stop, followed by a defensive rebound, and then fighting for the rebound on the offensive end and pressuring the outlet play. So Tumba is the one who really should get credit here for the last two possessions.
3:59 to play in the second quarter. Liège on top by 2, 31-29. They ended the first quarter up by 1. And for those of you just joining us and unfamiliar perhaps with the playoff structure, also known as the periodic table of competition. This is a home and home aggregate series between these two teams, so the team with the most points after 2 games will advance on to the next round against the winner of Mecklenburg and Belfast Mons-Hainaut. Mecklenburg has opened up an 11-point lead in the second quarter. That one 36-25 with 3:27 to play. Liège has led most of the way in this one. Limburg took the lead briefly in the first quarter and briefly just a moment ago, but Liege has played overall very well, as you said, perhaps with the exception, Victor, of the fouls. But Limburg is so big and so athletic, sometimes you just have to take those fouls.
Exactly, Craig. You love what they've done so far. You know, really putting Limburg to shoot only 39% from the field. This is what you want to do, but you got to start controlling the fouls. You know, giving up 12 free throws, 10 points of those have gone through. So if you're able to not control that part of the game, you're really putting yourself in a good situation. Let's see if Liege can brush it up a little bit.
Higgins took too long to get it in bounds. That was the 10th turnover for Liege in this game already. Boy, that looked like an offensive foul there by Yannick Desseron, using that off arm to hook around, but no call.
Yeah.
And we are tied up at 31.
A veteran play, just recognized the body was there, so he used it as a kind of like a little hook with his elbow to get himself, you know, plenty of force vector to get to the open lane. And then Tumba almost challenged that, but just too much and able to score.
Oh my goodness, Jamel Higgins.
And Hagan has that game, man. He can knock the outside shot. He can put the ball in the with the little baby hook. He's got the dunks. Plenty of repertoire from this young man.
Another block by Tumba. He stuffed that shot by Alex Stein and sent him out of bounds. It'll stay with Limburg.
Yeah, and that was not an easy block
no,
either.
sir, little man.
No, sir, little man, because Steinberg, recognizing that Tumba was there, actually went into his body, and the layup was going to come like on a little hook from the outside. But Tumba had enough reach to come over and block that shot. Beautiful block shot by Tumba, who has really played a great first half.
Another timeout on the floor. Let's look at some of the numbers. A.J. John, 3 points on Hel Rodriguez. He's gotten a nice, healthy rest. And Liege has been able to maintain this lead. Angel with 8 points, 5 assists. Tumba now, 2 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Higgins, 10 points already. Niels van den Einde with 4. Graham Bogerts has a pair. Moussa Noterman with 1. And Anthony Cambo with 3. Leading scorer for Limburg, Alex Stein with 8. Yannick Desseron has 6. Maxime Deseu also has 6. I hear you clapping along there, Victor.
You beat me to it, my friend. I said, hey, you were the MC, the DJ. I heard you can, with your French as well. I was going to ask you to sing this song, brother.
Kale launches the three-pointer. That's no good. Rebound, Jamel Higgins. Van den Einde.
A critical moment here. 2:40 to go, Craig. Can you finish this quarter well and have a lead going into halftime?
Higgins, a little jump hook.
And that's how you
Jamel
get
now
the
has
lead.
12.
Get Higgins the ball down at the block and let him go to work.
You almost get the feeling, just watching Higgins over the last couple of weeks, that regardless of where you get him the ball, he is going to score.
Yes.
The Swiss answers at the other end with a 3.
That big body, he's able to, push that guys down low, get to his spot, either baby hook it or get fouled. So Jamel Higgins, I would keep feeding him, run the same play again, get him the ball down low.
Liege by 1. Shot clock now at 8. Van den Einde hangs, misses badly right side. Higgins goes up. Wow.
Yeah, they denied the pass in the post. He had to come out, set that screen, and just kept rolling afterwards and gave his team a second chance point with that offensive rebound.
The Swiss working on Lemaire. And Brook commits the foul.
Yeah, but good job by Lemaire here. As the foul went through, he recognized that there could be continuation. So you pretty much just second foul him. The foul has been called anyways. You see right here, foul that bump, and then don't let him finish
Yeah.
in order to get that shot up. So great job there defensively by Lemaire.
First free throw by Le Suisse, no good. He's a 69% free throw shooter. Jamel Hagan's now 14 points on 7 of 11 shooting. So Le Suisse has a Lecite. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Van den Einde giving it up to Lemaire. Now back to Van den Einde. 10 to shoot. Niels between the rings. Tries to break Stein down. Oh, beautiful pass from Niels Van den Einde to Kevin Tumba, and he goes up and jams it home with two hands. And the big man will go to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
Van den Einde was looking for Tumba, sidestepped into his left, and that created enough angle to find the big man. Big man looking at the ball, good job catching it and going up strong with it, even though he got hit.
And Kevin Tumba completes the three-point play, and Liège back on top by 5 with a minute to play in the second quarter.
Get stops without fouling.
Stein answers at the other end with a three-pointer.
Yeah, misread there by Van den Einde and went underneath the screen against Stein, and he's going to make you pay.
Bogerts around the screen by Hagans. Gives it up to Lemaire. 7 to shoot. Lemaire, long two-pointer, no good. Tumba.
That's a reach. Yeah, Tumba just putting that pressure down low, getting the position, and he got held. So once again, Tumba, we mentioned these are the type of plays. There's no stats for this one, right? There's going to be a foul called on Limburg, but it was created because Tumba is doing the hard work early and really putting pressure on the glass.
This will be the 7th free throw attempt by Liège in this first half. Limburg, on the other hand, twice that. 14 free throw attempts in the first half, hitting on 11.
Yeah, and that's really the difference maker for Limburg in keeping themselves in the game. They're not shooting the ball particularly well, even though they got buckets here as of recent, but the 14 free throw attempts have kept them in this first half.
Tumba hits 1 of 2. And it's 41-38. Inside 20 seconds to play. Stein guarded by Van den Einde. Here comes the screen by Dezieux. Stein missed after having to shoot it up over Tumba. Kick out to Lemaire. He's not going to get it off. And the first half will come to an end with RSW Liège on top of HUBO Limburg United, 41-38. So good work in this first half by RSW Liège as they take a +3 into the locker room at halftime. We will be back in just one moment with first half highlights, as well as a look at all the statistics on this one. So glad you can be with us. Hope you're enjoying this playoff matchup between RSW Liège and HUBO Limburg United. Round 3 of the BNXT playoffs. Winner to face the winner of the Mecklenburg-Belfast-Mons-Hainaut series. We're back in just one moment, live from Country Hall. Victory Hall in Liège, where the home side has a 41-38 lead at halftime over HUBO Limburg United. A nice strong first half for Liège overall. Alongside my partner Victor Mansoure, my name's Craig Feda. Hope you're enjoying this one. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. Liège 17 of 34 from the floor for 50%. 4 of 8 from three-point range, 50% there, and 3 of 8 from the free throw line for 37%. Limburg 12 of 31 from the floor overall, 38%. 3 of 13 for 23% from beyond the arc, but they are 11 of 14 from the free throw line for 78%. Liège out-rebounding Limburg in that first half, 23-17. 10 first half turnovers for Liège, 8 for Limburg. Individually, A.J. John, 3 points. Angel Rodriguez had 8. He did not come back into the game once he sat down early in the second quarter. Or it was late in the first, I can't remember which. Angel, 8 points, 5 assists thus far. Kevin Tumba, 3 points, 9 rebounds already. He also has a pair of blocks. Jamel Hagens, 17 points in that first half on 8 of 12 shooting. He also has 3 rebounds. Niels van den Einde, 4 points. And a pair of assists. Graham Bogarts, 2 points. Usa Noderman with 1. And Anthony Cambo with 3. For HUBO Limburg United, Miles Kale, 2 points. Jonas Delalieu did not score in that first half. Yannick Desiron, 6 points. Wout Lemons has 3. Alex Stein with 11. Yannick Le Suisse has 5. Yannick Dahmen, a pair of points. And the veteran, Maxime Dezil, 6 points. And Cliff Hammonds had 3. There you look at some of the numbers and the big disparity in the free throw shooting. We saw that a couple of games ago as well against Lonsted. There was a large disparity as Lonsted had far more free throws, but Liège able to come up with a big win. But when you add all those numbers up, Victor Mansoure, a 3-point halftime advantage for Liège. And yeah, a win would be great against Limburg, but don't forget, this is a home and home on aggregate. So you want to try to build up as much of a lead in this one as you can. But a good first half overall for Liège.
Yeah, you want to build a lead, Craig, and it was a good first half for Liège. You know, knowing that you're playing against a team that's got a lot of weapons offensively. They went into this game with the 2-3 zone, and the 2-3 zone has allowed Liège to slow down Limburg. The 38% field goal shooting for Limburg is exactly what you want them to have. They've only knocked down 3 3-pointers, so you like that. What you don't like is the fact that they've got 11 points off the free throws, especially sometimes because of reach-ins or defensive fouls that you know that you can do better. So there's things that they can still improve on. But, you know, if you're Liège, you're happy with the rebounding. You like the fact that you're shooting a high percentage yourself, 50% from the floor. They've got Hagens the ball. Van den Einde here as of late have got himself a couple of buckets too. So a good overall defensive performance and offensive performance for Liège, really putting them on top by 3. But what you want to do, we talked about not giving up as many free throws, but you also have to cut down on the turnovers. If you're Liège, you know, 10 turnovers is just too much for a playoff game like this, especially if you're trying to build the lead. You have got to build the lead and win this game so you can take that plus into the second on the second game, knowing that you're going to have a tough outing on the road. So if you're Liège, good first half. Expect Limburg to make adjustments. Maybe they were not waiting for the 2-3 zone throughout the entire time. But if they make the adjustments, recognize who the scorer are, who the guys that you have to pay attention to. We know that Limburg, Alex Stein, he's got the 11 points, and he's been able to create shots. He's taken 12 shots himself, only knocking down 4 of those. But he's the one that's really creating the volume for Limburg. Excuse me. So you got to pay attention on him. And if you're Liège, offensively, you like the fact that Hagen's got the 17 points, but you also got other guys on the board. John has got himself 3. Rodriguez, like you mentioned, even though he didn't play much in that second quarter, he's got the 8 points as long as with the 5 assists. Tumba has been absolutely tremendous. 9 rebounds here, Craig, in that first half, especially 4 of those coming on the offensive end. So he's keeping them alive. And Hagens, we know what he does. 12 shots from the floor, has knocked 8 of those. High percentage player, extremely efficient. And then if you get Van den Nijnen to get going, he's got the 4 points here late. If you can get him going, all of a sudden you're putting yourself into the in a good position. So good first half by Coach Greenberg's team. I like the fact that they went with the zone, has slowed down the volume of Limburg. And Limburg is not going away from what they do. We've seen them full court press throughout the entire game. It has put pressure on. They also put pressure on the passing lanes, generating 10 turnovers from Liège. So very good first half, good playoff basketball. Nervous first half at time with the turnovers, but let's see if Liège can cut those down and come out here with the win, especially like you mentioned, being able to win the aggregate with enough life. So 3 points, 5 points, 7 points, 10 points if you can, to bring that on the road against Limburg here soon.
Let's take a look at some of the other scores in the playoffs. Belfast Mons Hainaut trailing Mechelen 41-34. The winner of this series will take on the winner of that series. Stella Artois Louvain leading Gross Den Bosch 41-36 at halftime. ZSC Leiden and Donner Groningen tied at 37 heading into the third quarter. That's in the Dutch finals. And Aris Leeuwarden and Spirou just about to get underway in that other round 3 game in BNXT. So some games to keep an eye on, but the most important one, of course, here in Country Hall in Liège. The home side on top by 3 at halftime, 41-38. We are back with second half action live from Liège in just a few moments.
on vous invite à rejoindre vos places dans la salle dans quelques instants. Début de la deuxième mi-temps, merci. Faute numéro 15 qui force de Valence. Deuxième faute.
Higgins to inbound. A.J. John launches the three, and that is good.
Yeah, that's how you start the second half, Craig. You know, stagger screen, double stagger to John coming through. You know he's able to step into his shot, curl into that three. So this is what you want. You get some outside shooting early to create some lane so you can drive the ball afterwards.
That three is good by Jonas Delalieu. He had 0 points in that first half. You knew that was going to change. And every time Liège gets it up to 5 or 6, it seems like Limburg answers with a three-pointer. That time Higgins has his layup roll off the front end of the rim. And now Kale outside to Hammonds. Rodriguez back into the game. Up ahead to Higgins. Caught the pass and then landed on the baseline.
Yeah,
A little
Higgins
too much
had the
lead
right
on that alley-oop to Higgins.
It was a little bit too much lead because Higgins was running the floor really hard, looking for that pass. Now all of a sudden, when he caught it, he should have went up with it because when he came down outside.
Stein over to Delalieu. Stein gets it back. Shot clock at 7. Stein runs into a trio of Liège defenders, and foul is going to get called, I believe, on Kevin Tumba. Couldn't
Yeah,
tell
and
if they
Liège not a good.
signaled Tumba or Rodriguez. Sorry, Victor, go ahead.
Yeah, not a good start defensively, Craig. They've given up a three, and then they had a bailout that Limburg missed the open three, and here the foul. So if you are, you see right there another three by Limburg. So if you're Liège, you have got to expect Limburg to recognize where the spaces are going to come through in the zone, and they have been able to explore here in the first 2 minutes.
Jonas Delalieu. 0 points in that first half. All of a sudden, he's got 6 on a pair of three-pointers, averaging 14.9 points and 6.1 rebounds per game. A 35% three-point shooter, hits back-to-back trays here. Hagens working on Delalieu. And Big Jonas commits the foul. So a couple of quick fouls on both teams here in the opening minutes of this third quarter. Van den Einde gets it to Hagens. Now Rodriguez, picked up by Hammonds. A couple of veterans going at it there. Now A.J. John did not have a good grasp of the ball. He tried to kind of two-hand touch flip it to Tumba. And that goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Limburg ball. Stein into the lane, shakes loose from Rodriguez, misses the shot. Alex Rodriguez the rebound. Or Angel Rodriguez. I'm thinking American baseball. Van den Einde at the other end gets the lay-in, and Liege back on top by a pair.
But that's the advantage of having two guards on the play. As Angel Rodriguez received the outlet pass, Van den Einde, all he had to do was run himself down the court on the opposite lane and got himself open.
Stein the hanger over Tumba. Gets the bucket to fall, and he'll go to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
And Stein is tough, man. He can put the ball on the ground. You see there, drew the contact and had enough concentration to still finish. But, you know, he can get himself down the lane. He can stop and pull up from the two. He can knock the outside shot. So this is a guy they've got to play. They got to pay a lot of attention to and actually try to get the ball off of his hands, as a lot of his scoring comes from him creating his own shot.
Stein, an 81% free throw shooter, can give Limburg the lead here. He's short. Limburg has only led two, maybe three times in this game, very briefly, by no more than a point. Hagens gives it up to Tumba underneath. He goes up and jams it home.
Tumba checking the structure on that rim, Craig, you know, making sure he can still hang in there as he flushed that one down hard.
Boy, between Hagens and Tumba, the maintenance staff here at City Hall, or rather Country Hall, they're going to have to do some work on those basket supports after this season's over.
Yes, they are. And talking about doing some work, that's what Limburg did here. You know, recognize that high-low. We have seen this in the first half. They're doing it again here. Get the position. You run right to the rim, okay? And now all of a sudden you turn around, seal your man, and ask for the ball. And if you do that with the right timing, the guy with the ball in the high is able to feed the low. So high-low situation to get the foul.
Second free throw rattles out. So Liege maintains a 1-point lead. Ooh, Van den Einde there almost a little over and back, and an offensive foul against Liege.
Offensive foul,
Both
and perhaps Van den Einde, Craig, excuse me, pretty much got away with the double dribble there. As the ball went on the ground, he cannot pick it back up. He did nice and slick with just one hand pulled, but then the referee saw an offensive foul there on that screen action.
Hammonds launches the three, short. Rebound ripped down by A.J. John. Rodriguez's pass tipped by Kale, and then the foul called. That's going to be on Angel Rodriguez, and he will have a seat.
Yeah, so back-to-back turnovers and fouls for Angel Rodriguez. The first one, offensive turnover with the foul. Now a turnover followed by the foul himself. So he's got himself in a position here with 4 fouls. He's going to have to sit for a while, and we're going to have a technical foul as well against Liege. So you got to keep your head here. They had a lot of turnovers in that first. Obviously, you know, that Limburg is a strong team, but 13 turnovers, a technical foul here. You don't want to give up 3 points, unforced errors to a team like Limburg, especially on the first game of an aggregate series.
Technical missed by Kale as Brad Greenberg animated conversation with one of the officials. So now Kale is shooting the regular free throws. Gets the first. And you kind of had to wonder if that was brewing, Victor, because the free throw disparity has been greatly in favor of Limburg as Kale hits 2 of 3 to give them a 1-point lead. And to wonder at some point if somebody on Liege was going to have enough of it. And now a turnover by Van den Einde. Lemaire hustling back, gets the block. Maybe that'll spark Liege the other way. Tumba underneath. He goes up and jams it. What a sequence by RSW Liege. Following the technical foul, they get the lead back by 1.
What a secret. A lot going on there. You know, the hustle back block, so you ended up denying the 2-point situation, and Tumba on the other end. Looked like he got away shuffling his feet. Referee didn't call it. He got the dunk anyways. And talk about
H.A. John had his shot rudely blocked, but there for the putback. Jamel Higgins and Liege on top by 3.
We can barely breathe, you know, take our eyes away from action. A lot going on here in transition in a beautiful playoff game.
And now a steal by A.J. John. It's a 3-on-1 up ahead to John. John goes up and wrecks it with one hand.
He could not get the first one, so he made sure he was going to get the second one, and he did. He's flexing his muscle like, you all saw that.
Yeah, try to block that one. Raymond Westfalen wants timeout after that little run by Liege there. My goodness, it almost looked like Liege was going to implode after the technical foul, but Tumba, Higgins, and John, the big men, said, no, we got this. After the incredible play by Brooke Lemaire. Hustling at the other end. Getting a block of his own following the fast break. That's what triggered this spurt by Liege. Ooh.
Yeah, my friend, got denied the first one and made sure that there will be no denying on that second one. This is what you do, right? Go to the next play. Could not get enough hops on those bunnies the first time, but the second time he made sure he did.
I'm not sure if there was a foul called on that last dunk on Miles Kale. Doesn't appear that there was. So it's 54-49. Lead back to 5 all of a sudden. That was a good timeout by Raymond Westfalen. He had to be thinking, what on earth just happened here? Stein outside to Delalieu. Shot clock at 5. Here comes Stein, launches the long three-pointer, and that is good. Every time, Victor, Liege gets up by 5 or 6. Limburg answers with a tray.
Yeah, and that's a trademark, you know, Craig, of good teams. And in Limburg, that's the reason why they went so deep into the Belgium championship, making it to the Final Four, is because of that. When you need it, they can answer the bell.
Van den Einde has his shot blocked, but it'll stay with Liege. 3.7 on the clock.
Yeah, because to your point, you know, when Westfalen recognized that Liege was really starting to play in transition, took a timeout to slow things down and get this man the ball right here and see if he can catch a rhythm again.
Hammond's the left-hand three is good, and just like that, Limburg is back on top 55-54.
Yeah, game of runs, and the run has been for Limburg as has got themselves open threes, something that was not happening in that first half as they've been starting to get hot here in the third.
Kale.
Oh.
Wow, that's a tough call on A.J. John.
I thought so too, Craig. It seemed like he fell down. He was more out of balance than anything.
Yeah, there was not a lot of contact there.
And once again, this is a situation where Liege has, exceeded the foul situation. They've been on bonus throughout the entire game now, and in the first and the second, now already in the third. So plenty of fouls for Liege. As a matter of fact, they got 19 fouls, Craig, already. The Angel Rodriguez, he's got himself. Well, Craig, here from the stats, if that last technical foul was on Angel Rodriguez, he's got 5 fouls already and unable to play throughout the end of the game.
Free throws good by Kale. We saw Rodriguez a few games ago draw a pair of technical fouls and get ejected. As Kale hits both free throws, let's check in with Belfus Monsigno and Mechlin. Mechlin leading by 13, 56-43, 3:09 to play in the third quarter there. So this 3 points is the biggest lead of the game now for Limburg. Higgins can't hit the 18-footer, and Limburg looking for a chance to take control of this one. Stein. And Cambo trying to defend Dessau. No chance of that.
Yeah, so too much position down low. All he had to do was take 2 dribbles and turn to go baseline. You see right there, 1, 2, turn into the baseline and got fouled. But once again, this is the 20th foul on Liege. They got to be more disciplined. They've allowed way too many free throws. This will be free throw number 22 and number 23, Craig. This is where the Limburg has made their way back into this game, and now with a 4-point lead.
Make it 5 on the second free throw, 59-54. Biggest lead of the game either way was 6. Liege had that on a couple of different occasions. Lemaire saves it inbounds. Here's Higgins, shot clock at 6. Back outside to Van den Einde. Gets it into the corner. Cambo for 3. That's good! Huge three-pointer by Anthony Cambo.
Huge three-pointer. They needed some life, and they got that 3 from Campbell on the Van den Einde breakdown. Found Campbell open for the 3, and they needed that one to go through, and it does, and put them Liege at only 2-point differential.
Out to Delalieu. Passes it outside, gets it back. Long three-pointer with the shot clock winding down. No. Van den Einde tips the rebound to Lemaire.
Yeah, get Higgins the ball here.
Lemaire for 3. That's good! Liege back on top after three-pointers by Cambo and Lemaire.
Get Higgins the ball. Let him draw the defender as the double team came through. Passed it to Campbell, and Campbell with the extra pass for Lemaire to the open 3.
Kale. And Limburg can't answer. Van den Einde for 3. That one just a little too short. Inside of a minute and a half to play in this third quarter. Comes Stein. Stein into the corner for Kale, and Kale steps on the sideline. A nice job, Victor, by Liège to weather that storm. Found themselves down 5, and then they hit back-to-back threes of their own as Jamel Higgins has a seat and Kevin Tumba comes back on. But you had to wonder for a moment, is this where Liège was going to kind of start to sink?
Yeah. You know, Craig, you know, we talked about being a third quarter league, you know, because you put your cards on the table in the first half and then you make the adjustment at halftime. So Limburg, knowing that Liège is going that zone, really started to exploit it and were able to knock down a few threes. And that put a lot of pressure on Liège. So now that Liège has been able to answer back with a couple of back-to-back threes, and this man right here, who's been doing the work all night on the offensive glass, put them back into the lead, and let's see if they can look back no further.
Tumba down 9 points, 10 rebounds, stolen away by Van den Einde. And the foul committed by Limburg, they had one to give. They actually have a couple to give. No, just one.
Yeah, Van den Einde is asking for that transition unsportsmanlike call, and he might have an argument. They're not going to give it to him, but he does have an argument. See where there's this pushing the ball in transition and clearly contact. To see that he actually raised his hand right away after the foul. But I guess a good defensive stop.
Van den Einde around Noterman. Little scoop left-hand layup. No, Tumba didn't get the rebound, but Lemaire did. Lemaire, Tumba inside, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Nice job by Miles Cale getting into position there. Tumba didn't see him and ran him over. And now Tumba having words.
He's saying he was moving and he perhaps was actually inside that restricted area. See right there, maybe just a good position, good defensive rotation there for Limburg. The crowd letting the referees know what they think about it, Craig.
Shot clock is off. Game clock inside 20, 62-59 in favor of Liège here at the end of this third quarter. The Swiss getting past Cambo. 3 on the way from Desiu. No good. Rebound pulled out of there by Van den Einde. Into the corner for 3. Cambo did not get it, and Cambo wanted that one. But the third quarter will come to an end with Liège on top by the score of 62-59. Buckle those seatbelts. We are in for an exciting fourth quarter here in Country Hall. We are back with fourth quarter playoff action in just one moment. (62-59) after 3 quarters. RSW Liège leading HUBO Limburg in this third round BNXT playoff matchup. Winner of this one goes on to face the winner of the series between Belfast Mont-Saint-No and Mecklenburg. Mecklenburg has opened up a 19-point lead in that one. Fourth quarter just underway. A couple of other games going on. Louvain leading Heroes Den Bosch 66-49 in the fourth. Zaytse Leiden leading Donar Groningen. Actually, they're trailing by 1 heading into the fourth quarter. And RS Leeuwarden and Spiro basket underway. 19-16 in favor of Spiro. 9:43 to play in the second quarter. Alongside my partner, Victor Mansouri, I'm Craig Feda. Liege holding on to a slim 3-point lead. Don't forget, the winner of this series, this home and home, advances on aggregate points. Victor, what does RSW Liege need to do in this fourth quarter to not only come away with the win, but try to get a little spread heading into game number 2?
They need to, Craig, this is a very important 10 minutes for them. Really, it can kind of put in a situation if they're going to advance or not, further in this playoff. So they got to brush up on the defensive fouls. They've given up Limburg way too many opportunities to live at the free throw line. 24 free throws shot thus far for Limburg. So if you're Liege, brush that part up, because now all of a sudden, if you're not fouling, it means that, if Limburg is shooting the ball at a lower percentage today, just 40%, can you rebound? You got Tumba, the rim protector, rebound and play in transition and play with the higher volume, a higher pace. So brush up those those fouls here in the fourth.
Anthony Campbell with a little road rash there.
And, Jamel Higgins, he got himself a break. We're going to see him come through here in the fourth, get him the ball, play through him, play through Higgins, and play through Van den Eyden. I think those two guys are going to be very important here in the fourth quarter.
A little give and go there. Moussa Noterman will go to the free throw line. Jamel Higgins, you mentioned, Victor, 17 points in that first half. He had just 2 in that third quarter for a total of 19. Kevin Tumba, 9 points, 12 boards, and a pair of blocks. A.J. John, 6 points. Angel Rodriguez done for the night with 8 points. Niels van den Einde with 8. Brooke Lemaire, 3. Bram Bogarts with 2. Moussa Noterman, 1. And Anthony Cambo now with 6 on 2 of 6. Beg your pardon, 2 of 4 3-point shooting. Noterman misses both free throws, but Tumba gets the rebound. Tumba bulls his way up. Boy, how did that go in? That looks like it was blocked in. Tumba now with 11 points, 13 rebounds.
Yeah, unbelievable, man. 13 rebounds. Just this man right here just dominating the paint area. You see right there as well, is able to get the offensive rebounder off his position for that Liege rebound. So Tumba having an invaluable moment here for Liege.
A.J. John for 3, and that is good! Liege now on top by 6. Fortunate series of events there, as Van den Einde lost his footing, lost the ball, came up and got the steal. That led to the 3-pointer by John and the 6-point lead by Liege. Lemaire. And it's nice with Rodriguez out, Victor, that Lemaire, you have a veteran in Brooke Lemaire. He doesn't obviously have the skill set that Angel Rodriguez has, but to have a veteran come on and man that other guard spot for the remainder of this game has to be extremely comforting to Brad Greenberg.
Yeah, you need that, right? Knowing that you're going to have challenges, and challenge it is to have Angel Rodriguez with the 5 fouls here, but at least you got enough on your roster to bring in a guy like Lemaire, with credible enough to create his own shot, make the right decision, knock the outside shot. Because this is a critical moment. Just 8 minutes to go. You're up by 4. You're playing a very good team at home. Can you deliver here in the last 8 minutes defensively and offensively? Hopefully come out here to win, and come out here to win with enough margin to bring into the second game.
Lemaire. And a foul before Lemaire turns it over.
Yeah, and that's to your point, right? Just knowing that Lemaire can create, he did, got hit, and the foul was called. You see right there, putting the ball on the ground, boom, the reach-in foul. So when you have enough roster, and you expect this, right? By this time of the year, you got guys that are able to come in and contribute and really keep up the level of play.
So 3 fouls on Limburg already in this fourth quarter, none on Liege. Musan Noderman misses the jump hook. Desiron. And the Liege bench and Brad Greenberg apoplectic after that one.
Yeah, because the high-low action, you see Lemaire actually fighting for position, and boom, yeah, but he reached. What has been, though, is because there's been so many foul calls throughout this game, there's a little bit of frustration on that reaction.
Desiron bumped by his own man.
Yes.
On that play. Forced the miss, and here comes Liege once again. Ahead by 4, Van den Einde gets it out to Lemaire. Now Lemaire launches the 3. That would have given Liege their biggest lead of the game. Kale picked up a little crossover, gets away from Van den Einde, but he recovers. Tumba comes over to help. 3-pointer on the way from Desiron, and that is good.
And that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to give open threes, especially here at clutch moments in the fourth quarter.
Van den Einde, shot clock at 8. And a foul called before Van den Einde gathers himself for the shot. 4th team foul already on Limburg in this fourth quarter already, Victor. 6:26 to play.
Yeah, a little bit of their own remedy now. Liege, putting the pressure on Limburg, 4 fouls. This is something that they want to explore. Van den Einde, maybe get Jamel Higgins back into the game now, and knowing that they're in the foul bonus. Can you keep attacking the rim? The referees have had the quick whistle throughout the entire game, and use that in your advantage and try to get yourself, free throws here. Win the free throw battles in the last minute is going to be humongous for the home team.
Brad Greenberg calls timeout as we check out some of the highlights. There's that 3-pointer by A.J. John a few moments ago. Jonas Delalleux, big impact in this second half after not scoring in the first. Delalleux with 8 points now and 4 rebounds. Kevin Tumba, a monster night on the glass, 13 rebounds to go along with his 11 points. This one's been tight the whole way. Neither team has led by more than 6. Biggest lead of the game for Liege has been 6 on a number of occasions. Every time they get there, though, Limburg answers with a 3-pointer. Now Higgins, a little flat on that jumper. Limburg led by 5 toward the end of the third quarter. And then Liege opened up a 6-point spread early in the fourth. Kale for 3, and that's good.
Yeah, they ran a little pick and roll action and then popped up for the 3. Just could not recognize Liege to try to get to the shooter. You got to close out the yard on the 3-point line, Craig, here in the fourth quarter and not allow open 3 for Limburg.
Van den Einde scores to tie it back up at 69. Stein gets it to Kale, now touch pass inside. Beautiful ball movement by Limburg as Yannick Desiron scores.
Yeah, they overloaded the top, creating mismatches. So when Limburg had to, when Liege had to play the outside perimeter shooting, they forgot completely about the roller for the open deuce.
Van den Einde to Noderman. He misses again from that right side baseline. And the deficit remains 2. Back out to Stein. Shot clock inside 10. Between the rings working on Noderman. Stein gets past him easily, and then John commits the foul. It'll be his 4th.
You played good, solid defense throughout the game. You don't want to get undisciplined here in the fourth, giving up 71 points. Because what has happened, Craig, here as of recent, they've got mismatches, miscommunications on who's stopping the ball and who's able to help out. You see right there, just an open lane from Noterman, and then John had to come through and foul. So you got to stay disciplined and really, stay within your man of your basket, know where the matchups are, close the shooters, but at the same time, don't forget about the rollers because, you don't want to give Limburg too much oxygen here in the fourth quarter.
Both free throws good. And Limburg on top by 4. Inside 5 minutes to play now. Van den Einde gets it back. Noterman on the bench now. Tumba back in, and a foul called against Desirant. So there you go. 4:43 to play in the fourth. That's the 15th foul against Limburg. First free throw by Van den Einde is good. He's an 83.5% free throw shooter on the season. And he pulls Liège back to within 2. And an offensive foul against Limburg. And Victor, we have not seen Nick Dragon in this game either.
Yeah, Craig, they tighten up the rotation here, maybe perhaps an injury situation. But, you got to go with the guys that can deliver. And this 5 that right here on the floor, they can. Let's see if they can get Jamel Higgins more involved because if you play through him, good things can happen.
John catch and shoot on the 3, and that is good! Liège back on top by 1, 4:12 to play in the fourth quarter. What a back and forth game. This has been tremendously entertaining. Now Hammonds for 3, that's no good. Van den Einde can't corral the rebound. Back outside to Zio. Now Kale. Limburg swings it around on the outside. Stein, his long jumper no good, but Lemaire commits the foul.
Let's see if there was contact on the play. It seemed like Lemaire contested the shot, but was holding his ground unless he got into the cylinder of the shooter. See if we can get a replay here. See right there, good D. Maybe perhaps there's enough contact there on the arm of Steinberg. And you know what? That's a tough matchup, Craig. We talked about Stein. He's got the 18 points, trying to go for 19 and 20 here, but he can create his own shot, man. And with that step back, and it's that step to the side of his, he's got enough leg power to create room and put his shot up.
Stein's a tough matchup for anybody. Stein played every game in 4 years at the University of Southern Indiana, as we have another technical foul against Liège.
You hate to see that technical foul here after the foul was already called. You already shot one free throw. Let that one go and think about the next possession rather than giving up a free point.
To finish the thought on Alex Stein, as a senior at Southern Indiana, averaged 21 points per game. Played 15 games in the G League. So he ties it up at 74. With one more free throw to go. So he hits 2 of 3 with 3:45 to play. Mecklenburg blowing out Belfast Mons-Hainaut, 93-61 with just a handful of seconds remaining in that one. Inside as Higgins caresses it over the front of the iron. And Liège back on top by 1.
You got to run the plays for him. You got to call his number because you know he's a very efficient scorer.
Kale, he takes the three-pointer, and that is good.
Yeah, a little bit of a hesitation there on the closeout, and Kale recognized that he had room to make that pull-up.
Kale now with 12. Vandeninde behind the back. He puts up the tray. That's short. Kale the rebound. Kale on the drive. Oh, my! Buggy whipped that one over the head.
Are you kidding me, Craig? I mean, this is the what you're talking about, man. Went to the middle. Nobody closed him out. Just put that ball behind his head and hammer it down.
That's one he'll be showing the grandkids.
Man.
Now Higgins draws the foul.
Not even in my wild dreams, man. Going to the middle like that, able to jump off the two legs, bring the ball all the way down. I mean, beautiful play.
Something you'd see Sean Kemp do back in the day.
Yeah.
Higgins hits the first free throw. And again, they've gone final. Also, I know losing at home to Mecklenburg, or Mechelen, I should say, 93-61. So if Belfast Mons, I know, is going to advance, they are going to need to beat Mechelen by 33 at home. So I think we can safely say Mechelen will take on the winner of this series. Louvain leading Heroes Den Bosch 79-68. 55 seconds to play in that one. Donar Groningen leading ZSL Leiden 72-69, 2:30 to play there. And Spiru Charleroi leading Aris Leeuwarden 29-26 midway through the second quarter. It's a 4-point lead here for Limburg after Liège led most of the game. But every time it seemed like Liège was going to start to pull away, get that lead to 5 or 6, Limburg would answer with a three-pointer, and now they found themselves on top by 4 with 2:07 to play. Most of it, honestly said, Victor, at the free throw line. Although they have hit some clutch three-pointers, but they're doing a lot of work at the the free throw line. Liège, 14 free throws in this game. Limburg, 31.
Yeah, what happens too, Craig, is because Limburg is shooting those 31 free throws, now all of a sudden Liège cannot fast break, right? They have to play on the half court when they get the ball against a set defense. So that has also slowed down their transition game.
Inside 2 minutes to play now. Stein up by Vandeninde. Now here's the 2. Nearly turned it over. Blocked by Tumba. Third block of the game for Kevin Tumba to go along with his 11 points and 13 rebounds. It's going to be Limburg ball as you see Higgins come up holding his hand after that one. I don't know if he got a finger caught in the net. Not a problem I ever had, but.
Me neither, my friend.
Get a look at our officials, Messieurs Geller, Van der Heijden, and De Vlager. Higgins, watching the replay on that, wanted the three-point play as we look at Miles Cale. Whoa, there was that dunk.
See right there, just hit that elevator, man. Went upstairs and threw it down like no mercy, and whoop! That's nice to see.
Nice to see if you're a basketball fan, but not if you're a fan of RSW Liège. You don't want to see a lane open up like that with an athletic young man like Miles Cale coming downhill. Cale started 154 games for Seton Hall in his career, averaged 8.2 points and 3.4 rebounds. He started every game for Seton Hall his last 2 seasons, represented Team USA in Peru at the 2019 Pan Am Games.
There you go. So that's what you do. Try to get Jamel Higgins the action with 1:30 to go. Every play should be through him and through Van den Eynden. And they're going to get called for the foul. So choose shots for Hagen. Get these 2 buckets in, hopefully. Get a stop defensively and go from there.
Higgins, a 70% free throw shooter, misses the first. Liège knows they're not going to get a lot of opportunities at the free throw line, so they've got to make them when they get there. Higgins hits the second, and the deficit is 3 inside of 1:30 to play in this fourth quarter. Stein backs it out, chews a little clock. And that's going to be a foul on Anthony Cambo.
Yeah, Cambo was late to that left slide of his and ended up getting called for the bump. You see right there, as the man was making the action, boom, right there, he reached in with that right shoulder. So what you want to do is you want to slide your feet and not go for the steal.
So that's 4 fouls on Cambo. He'll sit down to preserve his three-point shooting. And Bram Bogarts comes on. Stein hits the second. Lead back to 4, 83-79. Bogarts looking for some help, gets it over to Van den Eynden. He tries to drive on Stein, but gets cut off. Shot clock at 9, 1 minute to play. Van den Eynden launches the 3. Was that good? No, that just ticked off. Yeah, it just kind of ticked off the front of the rim and went underneath. I thought he drained it. Things looking dire for Liège now. 42 seconds to play. Stein gets it back. And that three-pointer by Cale. Gives Limburg their biggest lead of the game, biggest lead by either team at 7. Cale again puts up another 3 till that was off. Now Liège, they're not going to want to just dribble this out, Victor. They're down by 7, but they are playing on points. Don't forget, this is a home and home on aggregate, so Liège is going to want to set up some offense here.
Yeah, pretty much playing an 80-minute game, the 40 plus the 40. So this is not over here. You're not worried about the win or the loss rather than the point differential. So if you're Liège, you want to get a good bucket, a good shot up. And that's why that last trip down was not a good decision on the air ball 3 by Limburg. They had the advantage. They also had the shot clock in their favor. But rather, Cale took a air ball 3 with on a 2-on-1, or excuse me, a 2-on-2 situation. He should have held that ball, but now he's going to give Liège the opportunity for one more shot.
A.J. John's three-pointers. So Bogaerts will inbound. Obviously, Vandeninde is going to be your first option here. Then John for the three-pointer. John launches the long three, missed badly left side. Now Limburg, they get two more out of it. Oh my goodness, that would have been devastating if Kale hit that one. As it is though, Limburg somehow comes out of this with a 9-point win. Liège led for the majority of this game until Limburg took a 78-76 lead and then ran away from there. Just heartbreak for Liège. They played a tremendous game, but Limburg just too much down the stretch. Angel Rodriguez out of the game after fouling out. Could have used him down the stretch with his defense as well as his offense for that matter, but man, you look back on this one, Victor, and you think about what could have been.
Yeah, Craig, you know, this has been a tough outing, a roller coaster ride because you started so well. With that 2-3 zone gave Liège, put Limburg in a lot of trouble. But then Limburg, through the foul calling, were able to get also Stein a couple of shots. They were able to figure it out and eventually knock down a couple of threes in that second half. And here in the end, a 9-point lead, something that Limburg did not have throughout the entire game. So tough loss, heartbreaking loss for Liège. But guess what? Not done yet, not over yet. You take this -9, and you still have plenty of reasons to believe on your team to take that on the road and revert the score.
Man, you out-rebound a team like Limburg 45-34. You think you're going to walk away with a win in this one, but man. Well, let's look at the final numbers on this. RSW Liège, 31 of 68 from the floor, 45%. 8 of 18 from three-point range for 42%. Beg your pardon, they were 8 of 18 from the free throw line for 44%. 9 of 21 from three-point range for 42%. A.J. John, 12 points, 6 rebounds. Angel Rodriguez, 8 points, 6 assists before fouling out. Kevin Tumba, great game by him. And what did we say in the open, Victor? We needed a good game from A.J. John and Kevin Tumba. Well, we got him. Tumba, 11 points, 13 rebounds, 3 blocks. Jamel Hagens, another monster game for him, 24 points on 10 of 17 shooting. He added 5 rebounds. Niels van den Einde had 12. Brook Lemaire, 3. Bram Bogaerts, 2. Moussa Noderman, 1. And Anthony Cambo with 6. Limburg shot 41%, 34 from three-point range. They shot 33 free throws and hit on 25. Miles Kale finished with 19. Jonas Delalieu with 8. Yannick Desseron, 12. Wout Leemans, 3. Alex Stein led the way with 23. He also had 4 assists. Jonny Le Suisse had 5. Yannick Daman, 2. Maxime Deseo had 10. And Cliff Hammonds had 6. Game 2 of this series is Tuesday at Limburg. If RSW Liège wants to advance, they're going to have to win that game by 10 or more. And they will likely take on Mechelen, which defeated Belfast Mons-Hainaut in game 1 of that series, 93-61. Well, if this is the last one that we do for RSW Liège, if they fall in game 2, it's been a pleasure, Victor Mansoure. Just a heartbreaker here tonight.
Yes, it has been. It has been a pleasure, Craig, working with you once again. One of the best in the business, my brother. It is great, great, great to hang out with you and see Liège basketball, and how they developed throughout the entire season. Hopefully, it's not the last one. Hopefully, they can revert this 9-point lead in the road against Limburg, and we'll be back here. But if not, it has been an absolute honor, and I thank you all very much.
Once again, the final 88-79, HUBO Limburg United defeating RSW Liège here at Country Hall in Liège, Belgium. For my partner, Victor Mansoure, my name's Craig Feta, saying we hope to see you back here next week. If not, thanks so much for watching this season. So long for now.
This is what it's really about. Coming on the road, seeing a lot of adversity, refs, a lot of turnovers. We didn't get into a rhythm, but we came in and we stuck together. So every time we say brothers, I know it's a joke and all that, but really stay together. Yes, sir. Because we can do a lot of big things. So stay humble, stay humble. Let's go! Let's go!
Thank you.